kept pushing on, but then you went too far. When your ship has sailed and all your dreams are lost, everything is wrong, you feel like it's your fault. Just remember, I will be there for you, baby. Remember, there's nothing out there to get you, don't forget it. When life throws lemons, just call me. Just call me. Just call me. Just call me. You're stronger now than you ever been. You gotta leave now, it's time to catch the wind. You will climb up high and look through the clouds. And when you're feeling low, I know you'll bounce back. Oh, and just remember, I will be there for you, baby. Remember, there's nothing out there to get you, don't forget it. When life throws lemons, just call me. Just call me. Just call me. Just call me.
It is the home of NASCAR, and tonight one of its legendary events returns right here on Sim Racing Media. It is the Sunday Cup League Internationals World 600 here from the Charlotte Motor Speedway in Concord, North Carolina. Good evening, everybody. My name is Frank Marchese. Thank you very much for making us a part of your evening. Alongside me, my broadcast partner, David Motorspa. David, Legacy Charlotte here tonight. It's going to be a little bit different from what we've normally seen around this racetrack. There are a little bit of difference in bumps. The lines run a little bit different here. The track in itself just a little bit off from what we normally run here.
It should be a very exciting night. As you mentioned, the World 600 back here in Concord, North Carolina. So excited to see what these drivers can do, especially on this legacy track, but running the next-gen car should make a very interesting combo tonight.
Yep, absolutely. And we thank you all very much. For those of you who are seeing us for the first time, we thank the SCL International Series for bringing us on board here, at least for the World 600. We know there's a couple more dates coming up, just not quite sure when. We are running round number 5 of this season thus far in the Points Championship. Looking quite close up here at the top, at least for the moment. If I can get, there we go. Ryan Kelly currently leading the championship at 525 points. Maxwell Caldwell running in second at the moment, just 15 points behind. Braxton DeWeese, who was the winner at Twin Ring Motegi on the Oval last time out, jumping up into a tie for third place. David, you're looking for... David might be looking for the points there. I
am.
There we go. Braxton... Dave, help me out, please. The Joseph Grijalva? That's what it is. Grijalva. There it was. I've heard it about 5 times already, and for some reason it just won't stick. Currently running in the fourth position in points, Joshua Yarborough in P5 in points. We've only got about a minute or so left here in this practice session as we will go on down to the racetrack right now and see how these guys are getting on here. There is the 73 of Mark Brown. Right now, there is the man who currently sits at the top, Barrett Flo, in the number 92, pulling it off here with just about 30 seconds to go here in this practice session. And there is the championship leader right now, Ryan Kelly, in that number 13 Dynaco Chevrolet. Has been running very, very solidly from what we've been able to see. Haven't seen the races, but looking back through the results here, this number 13 has been very, very solid. No wonder why he's currently top the points.
Running some quick laps here in practice as well. Up until just a little bit ago was running in that top spot during their practice session. So it will be very interesting to see what they can do as they head into their qualifying runs here shortly.
Yep, it'll be just in a moment here. Qualifying will commence. It'll be 125 laps here from Charlotte tonight, as we are now just flipping over into the qualifying session. Will be a 5-minute qualifying session for these guys. A couple of guys jumping out onto pit road already, and it looks as though the number 18 of Austin Call, as well as the 73 of Mark Brown, will be the first two to roll off here to try to set a time here tonight. Steven Johnson, Chris Myers, Dalton Randolph, Chris Vanderplat's also on track as well. So is the 43 of Doc Caldwell, Sean Judson on track as well. Art Greco on track, Michael Accord on track, as here is the 73 of Brown looking to set his first times.
Making his way down the backstretch there, looking like he is trying to find any speed he can, going through 3 and 4 here. We'll see what time he can post as he'll make his way back to that front tri-oval and across the stripe.
Quite close towards the middle of the racetrack is Mark Brown. And right now it is the 44 of Steven Johnson setting the fastest lap at a 30:24, a full 10th quicker than anybody else. Sean Judson coming out of 3 and 4 to set his first time. Judson will go 17th. Chris Myers in the 24 goes to the top. Austin Call in the 18, 5th on his first lap. He'll go up to 3rd. Chris Myers heading through 3 and 4 in the number 24, and Myers was beaten out by Steven Johnson. We'll see what he can do to try to bring that back. He will not. Runs a time almost identical to his first lap. So Steven Johnson right now currently sitting atop the pile. Joseph Grijalva in the number 47, rounding turn 4 for the final time. And Grijalva will jump up to P3. So a solid lap for the 47 there. Ryan Kelly crossing the line to end his first laps. Kelly 12th quickest on his first go-around. Joshua Yarborough ending his first lap, jumps up to 10th. Todd Merkel doing the same, jumps up to 14th. Bit of an issue with our timing and scoring here, which we'll get sorted out in just a moment. As Ryan Kelly comes across the line, and Kelly will go second quickest at a 30.18 here in this session.
Time.
Yeah, absolutely. Joshua
Laying down those quick laps, and he was a little bit late hopping out in the qualifying there. Being a shorter track, you can kind of do that, but I was surprised to see him wait on pit road so long.
But Joshua Yarborough jumps up to second, so surpasses that number 13 just moments after the 13 sets the lap. Here comes Mike Peters in the Raging Canes, number 95. And Peters will jump up to ninth. Maxwell Caldwell and Barrett Flo jumping to second and third, respectively. Still have about a minute left here in this qualifying session. Joshua Tarrant Hill in the number 21 goes 17th quickest. Tillman Hoyer goes 16th quickest in the 48 on his first lap. Tarrant Hill and Hoyer will be the last two to cross before the session comes to a close. Comes the 21 of Tarrant Hill, and he will cross the line with a 30.29. That will put him 14th. Here comes Tillman Hoyer. He will jump up to 12th in the dying embers of the session. There's just one moment here as I try to... There we go. That should do it. So we will take a look now at the starting grid here for tonight's race. If SDK will play ball with me, which it doesn't look like it's going to at the moment, at least. We will start off on the front row. Will be Steven Johnson in the 44. Maxwell Caldwell will make up row number 2. Row 3 goes to Barrett Flo and Joshua Yarborough. Ryan Kelly and Chris Myers will make up row 3. Braxton DeWeese and Joseph
Grijalva.
There it was. I said it right during qualifying too with no issue. That's embarrassing. There we go. Now we got the grid up. Grijalva in row 4. Mike Peters and Mark Brown make up row 5. Larry McKenzie and Tillman Hoyer will make up the top half of the field, David.
All right, looking down at the second half of the field there, we have Sean Judson in 13th, Austin Call there in 14th, Josh Tarrant Hill in 15th, Dalton Randolph in 16th, Michael Accord in 17th, Art Greco in 18th there, Chris Vander Plotz in 19th, Justin Malarkey in 20th. Having a little bit of technical difficulty here. Todd Merkel in 21st. Andrew McKenzie in 22nd. Thomas Caldwell in 23rd. And rounding out our field tonight, Adam Lowe in 24th, not taking a qualifying time.
Yep, and if there were more than just one, he would have started via his iRating, but fortunately for him, no such need is necessary. Take a look at the weather conditions here for tonight's race. We are just past 8 o'clock p.m. in sim time. Wind blowing at about 5 degrees towards the west. 76-degree ambient temperature, 78-degree track temperature. And, David, that is going to mean a lot for these drivers here. It's not going to be slick, but it is going to be fast.
Absolutely. Those lower track temps giving these cars more grip, especially with this older style track. It will be interesting to see how this next-gen car handles the old format of Charlotte, all its bumps, all its grooves. Will definitely make for an interesting night here with that lower track temp.
its lack of safer barriers as well, especially coming out of turn 4. It's quite fun sometimes, especially when you get towards the end of the run, to try to navigate coming out of turn 4 and trying not to put it in the wall now that you have those extra couple of feet.
Definitely gives drivers an opportunity to change their lines a little bit with that safer barrier not being there. However, drivers do have to use a little bit more caution, as of course, without that safer barrier, the damage to these vehicles is that much worse when you do tap that wall.
Absolutely. And also the something that we haven't really talked much about over the course of our most recent broadcasts is that there is progressive damage on these cars. So if you start clipping the apron, you start clipping the wall, it may not hurt you immediately, but if you keep doing it over time, it is going to have a rather big effect.
Absolutely. That progressive damage model, of course, making its way with the more recent updates in iRacing. And as you mentioned, maybe not as large here in our Oval series, but for sure, if anybody has watched a dirt series or a track like Darlington, where it is very common for somebody to come up and tap a wall, it's going to play a big factor with these cars moving forward.
It certainly will, as we come through turns 3 and 4 for the final time under pace speed. Before we get this race going, it is 135 laps for round number 5 of the season here for the Sunday Racing League International. Coming out of turn number 4, flagman has the flag in hand. Green flag is out. 125 laps from the Charlotte Motor Speedway. We are green.
Leading the way into turn 1, the 94 of Maxwell Caldwell had to jump there for a moment, but on his inside, the 44 of Steven Johnson looks like he might have the advantage heading down the back straightaway and into turn 3.
77 of Joshua Yarborough almost at the wall coming through turn 2, as side by side that 44 of Steven Johnson pushing up a little bit on Maxwell Caldwell. Both drivers keep it straight, and the 94 on the outside line is going to be the one to lead the first lap.
Exciting first lap. Front of the pack, 1, 2, 3 seem to be getting into a single file sort of momentum as everyone behind them starts to do the same, heading down the back straightaway. A couple of cars down on the inside.
It's 24 of Chris Myers, who we're riding along with, has the 13 of Ryan Kelly. Looking to the inside, there's that Dynaco blue. Just off to the left, you can see it beyond the A-pillar. Is lap 2 in the books. Kelly with a big dive going into the corner, as that's the 92 of Barrett Flo on the outside line, trying to make that high side work.
Kelly wasting no time using that inside line, heading into 3 and 4 here, trying to get another position. Looks like he will be clear as he makes his way out of turn 4 and onto the front tri-oval.
Steven Jackson has gotten into the race lead, and a little bit of contact there with the outside wall going through the quad oval for Joshua Yarborough, as we take a look off the back of Maxwell Caldwell. That is last week's winner, Braxton DeWeese, running right behind him. Front of the pack, somewhat single-filed out here. Still do have a fair share of side-by-side running from about 7th on back. Is that 92 starting to fall back into the clutches? So is the 73 of Mark Brown. A little bit of a wiggle there out of the 95 of Mike Peters on the inside line. Then there's a small little gap as Braxton DeWeese trying to make a move for second on Maxwell Caldwell.
Currently nose to tail and searching for any advantage he can as they head down into turn 1. It looks like Caldwell will stay to the inside with DeWeese following him and coming down the back straightaway here.
24 of Chris Myers using the outside line to his advantage. 77 now trying to do the same. That's Joshua Yarborough. Then so you have this first group of 13 here. And then you have the 18 of Austin Call, who currently sits about a second and a half back, holding back this group here. That's Larry McKenzie in the 00 on the outside line. Michael Accord leading in that natural light, number 17 on the inside. Contact there with the wall for Larry McKenzie's 00. That will shuffle the field up a little bit. Watch out. Getting close. As Chris Vanderplatz. Two of Todd Merkel there as well. This is a battle for the 15th position with Larry McKenzie in that 00. Battle for second, though, going on is Braxton DeWeese. David has not let Maxwell Caldwell get away.
Definitely trying to keep it as close as they can right now, and DeWeese and Caldwell just trying to figure out who's going to take that spot, and lap by lap it seems like they are nose to tail every time we come around.
Joshua Yarborough continues to fall back in that number 77, the 24, now to the outside of that Toyota Camry, and now Yarborough will fall in line. Mark Brown trying to make a move on the 98 of Dalton Randolph. Randolph on the outside, the 73 of Brown on the inside as this group here continues to pull away. Now 2.5 seconds up the road from that group being led by Austin Call.
As we see two distinct groups forming here, make no mistake, these drivers are still getting their side-by-side action. As we see the 24 diving to the inside of the 47 here. A couple of drivers maybe a little unsatisfied with the driver in front of them and the way they're driving, fanning back out to that 2x2 racing.
It's Grijalva on the outside in the 47. Bit of a ride on board with Grijalva. It's incredible how much you're having to work on that outside line as you're seeing the 8 now start to fall back a little bit. Oh, a big loose moment there for the 95 of Mike Peters, able to keep it straight though. Oh, big hard contact with the 92. That was Barrett Flo on the racing line. Caution is out as the second group comes up. 48 of Tillman Hoyer involved as well. I think Hoyer might have suspension damage as he's going to tow. Meanwhile, Barrett Flo will roll away. Take a look and see.
A hard hit there on the wall. Can't really tell if he broke that that steering link as you mentioned, but that was a rough impact that sent him down the track there.
It looked like there was a little bit of contact prior to from the 98, which, yep, it was, that sent the 92 up into the outside wall. See this from Dalton Randolph's perspective in the 98. Yep, there's the contact. And away they go from there. So inside the 48 of Tillman Hoyer. Just nowhere to go. And then here comes the second group. So caution number 1 on the speedway is the stricken number 92, still trying to file his way around. Chris Myers has led a group onto pit road in the 24. Braxton DeWeese off and away. Joshua Tarrant Hill in the 21 will roll out second. Sean Judson, Chris Vanderplatz. Chris Myers repairing damage on that right side of the 24. So from 17th on back, looking like it is going to be fresh tires for that lot. 7 cars deciding to come into pit.
Drivers sorting themselves out after that incident, and it appears that Barrett Flo was able to get that damage repaired and has come back out on track. As far as I can tell, that means everyone will be back on the lead lap here.
And with that car looking the way it does, that would mean a fast repair was used by the 92. Again, 125 laps here tonight, and if David, if you wouldn't mind, how many? I'm assuming one fast repair. I would assume multiple sets of tires tonight that these guys have available to them.
So what I am seeing here in the race details is they do have that one fast repair available, giving these drivers a chance to fix those cars for any unfortunate incidents that they do get involved in. However, I am not seeing a limit right now on those Goodyears.
So there you go. So as many tires as you want to use here tonight is what's going to be available.
Oh, I am corrected. There is a tire set limit of 4 for this race. I'm sorry about that.
All right. So that would mean the set from qualifying plus 3. And that would also mean that the 8 of Braxton DeWeese has used one of those sets. Same with the 10 of Chris Vanderplat's. Chris Myers may have used a set of tires, but he was in the pits for a good 40 seconds trying to repair that right side damage that you can see on that number 24. 19, 21, and the 92 all taking fuel only. The 92 also taking his fast repair. So coming through 3 and 4, it'll be Steven Johnson and Maxwell Caldwell lining up the same exact way they did for the start of the race. David, why don't you take us away?
All right, and as the pace car takes its dive onto pit road, we will get ready to go back green flag racing as the 44 takes off, has a good jump here over the 94, the 13 pulling out with him, able to steal away that second spot at least momentarily. Caldwell falling in line here in third, followed by Grijalva.
It's Larry McKenzie on the bottom in the 00. Down on the apron, got an absolute mare of a start in that 00. Falling back, we've seen him hit the wall a couple of times. You can see the right front damage on that 00, but everyone at the front with a very good start. And that's another thing that we completely glossed over prior to the race, because this is the legacy version of Charlotte. No restart zone.
Absolutely, and it has just become second nature for us now with the update and having that restart zone. We never really think about it, but as you mentioned, being here at Legacy Charlotte, not having that, these drivers just having to anticipate when that green flag comes out and the leader starts going.
Back to the good old days. Steven Johnson, Ryan Kelly certainly benefited from having no restart zone. Started third on this restart. And because the 44 got such a good launch and the 94 did not, was able to take that second spot. Meanwhile, the 95 of Mike Peters having a nice little run on the outside line.
Running that outside line, but certainly not the most favorable line that we've seen so far, as Grijalva is occupying that inside line, making it tough for him to pass.
At least at the moment, as this race goes on, we've seen it a lot here at Charlotte. That outside line will rubber in, and the run that you get down the back straightaway is absolutely massive around this place. Doesn't work nearly as much in turns 3 and 4, but in turns 1 and 2, you could certainly use that outside line to your advantage.
100%. And as you mentioned, as this track rubbers in, as track temperature maybe picks up just a little bit from these cars running around, we may see some of these drivers trying that outside line more, as the 44 and 13 are now battling for the lead side by side up front, heading into turn 3 here. The 13 on the inside, that's Ryan Kelly on the inside of Steven Johnson. 13 getting just a little bit ahead, making some contact there with the 44 as they come back to the line.
Ryan Kelly does have 1 win this season, as does Maxwell Caldwell and Braxton DeWeese. Bill Miller also a victor this season. So 4 races, 4 different winners here this season for these guys. And Ryan Kelly, the points leader, up to the front.
Taking that lead away, again, using that inside line, but it is only a matter of...
Watch out, 95, hard into the wall. Mike Peters keeping it straight, so the caution will not come out. Now puts it back into the wall as he was about to go into traffic.
And what a close call there. Literally just barely missing drivers as he came down the track and back up into that wall.
Now, part of the reason why, we'll take a look at it in a second, but part of the reason why is because Braxton DeWeese in the 8, who took 4 tires on that restart, was coming up on the outside line, got the 95 to move a little bit, and I think it might have been either the 47 or the 73 that sent him around. Take a look. We're riding on board here with Peters. You can see the 8 in the mirror. Watch the run that the 8's going to get out the back here. Pushes up. It may have bumped the 95 a little bit. And the 95 thought he was clear off of the 47, and just another hard hit. Same exact spot as where we saw the first caution of the night.
Again, just an unfortunate situation, but those fresh tires for Braxton DeWeese, definitely he's using them to his advantage. While you were away there watching that replay, DeWeese made a pass for the lead over Ryan Kelly.
Out to the lead for that 88. So Ryan Kelly now sits in second. The 95, you may have just seen him flash there coming out of pit road. Here is the pass for the race lead by Braxton DeWeese. On the outside through 1 and 2. And it may only be about 13 laps, but fresher tires, especially around Charlotte in these cars, is fresher tires.
And certainly showing the difference that it can make for you here, having that lead of about 0.8 of a second, almost a whole second here as he heads down into turn 3. Field starting to get spread out from those incidents and those cars sliding around near the front of the pack.
He's in a spot right now where he cannot afford to have a late race caution. There was only 1 caution last week at Twin Ring Motegi. So a late race caution right now is not in the best interest of the 8. So to stay on pit cycle with the guys around him to have a genuine race lead. We thank all of you that are joining us here in the live chat. A lot of fans rooting for Braxton DeWeese throughout this race. Sammy Sanner, Chris DeWeese as well in the chat. Nicole Hughes going for Chris Vanderplatz as well as Gene Coleman. We thank you guys for being as active in the chat as you are. Makes it a heck of a lot more fun for us as well. And speaking of the 10 of Chris Vanderplatz, there he is. What a big wiggle for the 24 just as we go to the 10. Catching the wall a couple of times on the outside.
And as we mentioned, it might not seem like a big deal for now, as that couple of taps on the wall did only slow him down a little bit. But with that progressive damage model, you never know how many taps you have until something on that race car breaks.
Here's Chris Vanderplatz running in the 14th position right now in that number 10. Braxton DeWeese has broken out to a 1.7 second lead over this battle for second here between Ryan Kelly and Maxwell Caldwell. Again, part of the reason why, if you're just joining us, there is the pit strategy for the drivers that are currently running in the top 5. DeWeese coming in under caution on lap 13, took 4 tires and fuel and drove his way up to the front. Everybody else on 31 lap old tires, except for the race leaders. We look a little bit towards the middle of the field. This is just inside the top 10. Justin Malarkey in the 25 has the 10th position. Michael Accord in the 17 wants it. And that will be Accord's position to take as 17 moves up into the 10th position, a little bit further behind. 98 of Dalton Randolph has a mirror full of the 21 and the 24.
As they come out of turn 4, it looks like the 21 will check up, losing some of that momentum and slowing the 24 down as well. But make no mistake about it, that 25 machine is about to have his, or I believe it's the 10 machine there, sorry about that, about to have an absolute mirror full there.
Chris Myers showing the power of that number 24, diving to the inside of Josh Tarrant Hill, pardon me. Moving Myers back up into the 13th position after repairing damage under the caution on lap 13. Battle for second still very close. Ryan Kelly right now just ahead of Maxwell Caldwell, and I think that's what Caldwell was looking for, was just that little slide up in the middle of turns 3 and 4. He got it and now moves into a side-by-side duel for second. He has the position going into turn 1.
Taking advantage of everything you can. As we mentioned, those 35-lap-old tires now showing a bit of their wear, waiting for those drivers in front of you to just make a mistake and take the position.
There is Maxwell Caldwell again running in the second position, has been in the top 3 or 4 here all race long. It's been very solid in the first 35 laps of this race. Working lap 36, Justin Malarkey trying to get back at Michael Accord in the 17. The 2 of Todd Merkel not that far away either. It's for 9th, 10th, and 11th between these 3. And Malarkey taking more of a middle line, and so is everyone else starting to move up the racetrack ever so much as we get a little bit later on in the night.
Just trying to find a spot where those good years are happy again. As track temperatures increase and some rubber gets laid down on that higher line, you're going to see drivers start to search around to find a spot where they are comfortable with that car again.
It's about as nice a run on the outside line as you could have hoped for as we ride on board with Justin Malarkey. Been running the bottom in the middle in 3 and 4, but on the outside in turns 1 and 2. And ran that line to perfection the last time around. We'll see what he does here. More towards the middle and bottom.
And perhaps just waiting for the right moment to strike with the 2 drivers in front of him starting to get closer together, perhaps hoping for that slip up to take away those positions.
Seen it before here at Charlotte as Michael Accord catching up ever so close now to Todd Merkel, as Justin Malarkey there as well. Chris Myers running currently in the 12th position in that Garza Law Firm number 24, one of the series sponsors. Go back to that battle here as there's the 95 of Mike Peters. After repairing damage on his car, starting to work back up through the field. Peters currently running 2 laps down at the moment in that 95. And that 95 going by has opened the door for the 17 to make a move. Michael Accord up into ninth now.
And sometimes that is all it takes, using a car going by you, even if it is a lap car, to just open the door enough to give you that slight advantage and follow their draft on the way through.
Justin Malarkey now putting the 2 of Todd Merkel under fire. Right along that wall on the outside line. And the momentum and the run that he's going to get is absolutely fantastic. He's going to get around Todd Merkel going out of turn number 2, and now once again sets his sights for Michael Accord. Instead of being for 10th, this time it's for 9th. A little bit further back, a nice little gaggle here. 21 of Joshua Tarrant Hill, Chris Vanderplatz, Barrett Flo. Running 3 abreast through turn 1. All of this for position. The 48, however, is not. 48 2 laps down as well. After his incident with the 92. Oh, looks like Joshua Yarborough might be off track in the 77. He was. See what happened to Yarborough. Coming out of 4, just lost the back end. Only loses 1 spot, though.
Drivers learning the limits of those cars right now. These tires cannot be feeling the greatest after turning 43 laps here. Just have to think that starting to lose a little bit of that grip.
Ooh, there's
maybe
somebody
sliding around.
Sorry to cut you off there, but there was somebody in the wall. I think that might be the 24 of Chris Myers. It is sliding back up towards the racetrack, causing another car to swing into the wall. Caution is out. Well, that started in turn 4 and ended in turn 1.
Charlotte, a track that it is notoriously difficult to catch the car as it starts to slide through that front quad oval.
See, this is what happened with Myers. He's already in the wall here. Interested to see who that was that he caught, or just, he didn't hit anyone, but not quite sure who that was. That was coming off of, to catch this a little bit further back here. We'll see. Here he is coming out of turn 2. We're a little bit far back now. Great battle going on between the 2 and the 25 right in front. And coming out of 4 might be the same exact thing the 77 did. Actually gone way too far back now. Let's pick this up again. Third time. He's already in the wall. Interested to see, though, who that car was that. This white car here, that might be the 6. Oh, no, it's the 72 of Art Greco that swerved away to avoid. In and out of pit road, and it is Maxwell Caldwell who wins the race off of pit road. Braxton DeWeese had a 5-second lead prior to that caution coming out, and while these guys go on their caution laps, we will take a quick break and be right back here. You are watching the World 600 for the SCL International Racing League right here on SRM. Back here at Charlotte Motor Speedway for the World 600, round number 5 of the season for the SCL International Series. As it will be Maxwell Caldwell leading Braxton DeWeese off of pit road, off for the restart. Andrew McKenzie in the 6 stayed out to lead a lap, but came in. Green flag back in the air, and once again the 13 of Ryan Kelly, the benefactor from a very good restart on the inside line.
And something we will have to keep an eye on. That is now at least the second time we have seen that restart on the inside line.
Oh, watch out, that's the 18. Into the inside wall, and a lot of guys getting caught up in this one. Caution out again. There's the 43, the 00 in it. Started with the 18. I think the 17 of Michael Accord as well. Yep, there he is. A lot of close racing on the backstretch. And unfortunately,
as hard as that incident was, it looks like for the most part, drivers got away fairly clean.
That's a hard hit for the 18 of Austin Call. See Michael Accord, there he is. Sliding back up towards the outside, the 92, the 10, the 77. Getting a piece of it there as well. Right on board with Chris Vanderplatz in the 10. Just nowhere to go. Right on board.
Race control that the 17 will be receiving an EOL for that incident.
A couple of very hard hits there for the 18 of Alex Call. One more time from above. 17 does go down into the 18 a little bit there. 6 just does miss getting into it. Go one more time. This will be from the 00 of Larry McKenzie. He didn't slow up until way down the back straightaway. Didn't catch much of it, but probably could have been clearer had he reacted a little bit quicker. There's the 17.
Drivers taking their chances and taking their opportunities there, I believe, is what you're seeing. Just, I got a little bit of contact, but I really want to get out of that situation and put the foot to the floor to make sure I'm out of the rest of it.
Absolutely. So Judson, Tarrant Hill, McKenzie, and Call are still down pit road. Add Barrett Flow to that as well. Adam Lowe did not start this race. He did not put down a qualifying lap, and he did not start. So all drivers who took the green flag here tonight are still with us. In some way, shape, or form. Coming up next week, here for the Cup Series at least, will be Michigan. 70 laps from Michigan International Speedway. Same time, this time next week. This series also does run a truck series and a street stock series tomorrow night. Oh, actually, the street stock series just ended. So the truck series race will be here on Wednesday. 75 laps here at this very same running of the Charlotte Motor Speedway, the same legacy version that you're seeing here tonight. Trucks will be on it this upcoming Thursday night. Or Wednesday night, pardon me.
Should make for some exciting action. Those trucks can be just as loose as these cars, and 75 laps, it's a sprint to the finish there.
Absolutely. Made it through 53 laps here tonight as we cross the line, and still have a good chunk of this race left to go under our third caution of the night, as Maxwell Caldwell in the 94 will lead the field down again for yet another restart. Pace car is off. Green flag is coming out. And Maxwell Caldwell will lead them down. Green flag back in the air.
And this time it seems like that inside line wasn't quite as much of an advantage as it has been before. Ryan Kelly on the outside in that 13 machine really getting a run as they head down onto the back straightaway.
That's the best restart we've seen from the outside line all night. Kelly getting quite a big push from Braxton DeWeese in that number 8, but the 8 really falls back going into turn 3. The 13 keeping the charge coming out of turn 4. He's ahead at the line, but certainly not clear as that 94 still hanging in there.
As they come back into turn 1, it looks like the 94 will be able to maintain that position as the 13 falls back and is now fighting with the 44 for the second position.
Really threw it in there, did the 94, took the spot. 47 and 8 battling about as close as you can, and that's putting a lot of faith in netcode right there, battling that close.
Talk about not having more space than about a sheet of paper between those cars. They were door to door.
8 of Braxton DeWeese now suffering from a little bit of connection issues here, as that was a little bit of lag there causing all those sparks. His car is fine. And he will continue on. Justin Malarkey in the 25. Saw that great battle from him. with the 2 of Todd Merkel. Those two running now 7th and 8th. Still very, very close, but single file here from this restart.
Drivers perhaps taking a moment to collect their thoughts, realizing that we are not quite to the halfway point and there is still plenty more race to go. As we see some movement up at the front, the 44 making that pass there on the 13. Johnson getting that second place away.
Steven Johnson clipping that grass with a big wiggle there as Johnson, the pole sitter here for tonight in that 44, jumps to the outside, looking for the race lead. Caldwell, though, not giving it up on the inside. 13 of Ryan Kelly decides to stick with the bottom as the 47 and 73 make contact going into turn 3.
And just as I mentioned, these drivers might be taking a little bit of time to get their patience. Things heat back up here again at Concord.
A mile and a half is plenty of time to find some patience.
Absolutely. It doesn't take long at all. And here we are back side by side racing around this 7th, 8th, 9th, and 10th spot again.
Top 5 are single file. Everyone else beyond that, not so much, as that's the 6 of Andrew McKenzie in that Monster Energy Ford Mustang on the outside line, trying to make it work on the at the very back of this group. 14-car group separated by 2.5 seconds to the next car for position. That's the 43 of Doc Caldwell.
The 25 and the 8 leading the charge here at the front of the group as they head down into turn 3. The 8 on the inside, but it looks like a run might be forming on the outside with that 25 machine as they make their way through the quad over here coming to the line. Couldn't quite get the position away from him, but they are still battling as rough as they can be.
Dalton Randolph in that 98 was the second car on the outside line. He is ducked in behind the 2 and in front of the 24. As around goes the 25. Down the back straightaway into the inside wall. Stays straight. We stay green. Well, that's certainly one way to get it done.
Not the best way to make friends here on the track, but certainly one way to get your position.
I would say
looks
so.
Like just a little bit of trying to go for the same spot there on the track, and on the radio it sounds like there might have just been a little bit of miscommunication as they're now apologizing to each other.
Looking on board, this is on board the 2. Coming up to the incident now. It's Malarkey on the outside, DeWeese on the inside. As Malarkey, those two got very close together, and certainly some contact between the two, sending the 25 around. But because he kept it straight, we stay green as Chris Myers in the 24. We just saw how hard a hit he took not that long ago, battling side by side with the 8 now.
Certainly these drivers are starting to feel the frustration as we get right towards that halfway point. We are just now past the halfway point in this race. Things are going to start getting even more difficult for these drivers. We're closing in on those final laps, and man, those frustrations got to be building here at this 1.5 miles.
Absolutely, especially with how close. And I'll tell you, if whoever wins tonight, there is certainly going to be a race for who has more people backing them in the chat. Braxton DeWeese and the 10 of Chris Vanderplatz, who's also right in this group. These two, the folks in the chat are in love with these two.
And the 24
we love to see it.
Making contact. 2 spins down into the infield.
That's not the first time we've seen the 24 have an issue tonight. As Todd Merkel, again, well off the racing surface. Will stop there. is on board with him, and yep, just gets spun coming out of turn 4. Just a full 360, and off we go. Just the 24. Oh, that was net code between the 24 and the 2. My apologies.
24 certainly not making friends with the 2 on that incident, net code or not. Spinning that driver out in the number 2 machine. Got to think there might be some payback coming if he can catch back up.
Battle for the race lead, side by side. Maxwell Caldwell and Steven Johnson, the 44 and 94. Battling side by side, and it's going to be Caldwell who takes the spot with the 2 just in front of them.
Caldwell, of course, showing his dominance. We've seen him quick here all night long, but definitely not going quietly into the night. Steven Johnson there battling back, looking for any room he can get as he heads to the outside as we go into 3 and 4.
Big block down the straightaway, and you love to see it, especially when it's done in a safe fashion. Head through the quad oval going into turn 1. Caldwell, Johnson, Kelly. Your top 3. Grijalva in the 47, Brown in the 73, Braxton DeWeese in the 8, all right there as well. A second and a half back to the 24. Of Myers, who's got about 3/4 of a second back to Dalton Randolph, as that front group was really split up with that incident with the 8 and the 25.
Spreading out the drivers here a little bit. As you mentioned, a large gap there between 6th and 7th position, but that doesn't mean that these drivers back here from 7th on back aren't going to battle it out for those slots that they have left.
Certainly not. As now that the 94 is starting to get away a little bit, now the 13 of Ryan Kelly starting to put the pressure on. And Kelly is going to take that second position away. 73 of Mark Brown doing battle with the 21. Now the 21 of Joshua Tarrant Hill came in on lap 50, so he's got a little bit fresher tires than everyone else here. As the 44 takes a big detour through the grass in the first dog leg.
That 21 machine looks like he's using the tires to his advantage, trying to get that lap back the hard way here as he goes to the outside of Ryan Kelly there and starts eyeing up our leader, Maxwell Caldwell.
First driver not on the lead lap for the moment is the 92 of Barrett Flo. Now he's got mere seconds before Todd Merkel takes that title away from him. As the 21 gets a lap back, the 2 goes down 1. (13) of Ryan Kelly trying to find a way through as well. Joseph Grijalva. That 44 of Steven Johnson really having an issue here on this longer run.
Starting to drop back and now under fire again from Mark Brown here. It looks like Brown will take the inside and be clear as they head back to the backstretch. Have to wonder if those tires are starting to feel a little old for that 44 machine.
Probably. These guys last came down to pit on lap 45, so it's been 30 laps since these guys have gone down pit road, but they have done 45 laps on the tires before. So this is not as bad as they have felt. As Grijalva doing what he can to keep that 73 and 44 at bay. Again, the 2 not for position anymore up here in this group. The 94 of Maxwell Caldwell has gotten out to the race lead. Ryan Kelly about 2 to 3 car lengths behind that 94, just trying to keep tabs with him. bit further back. Chris Vanderplatz on the outside of the 6 of Andrew McKenzie looking for position. Art Greco there as well. 6 having some connection issues too.
It looks like Greco had to check up there, thought better of going 3 wide in the middle of a turn, but certainly gets that spot away as we're now coming through 3 and 4 again with the 6 battling to the inside, coming back to the quad oval.
Vanderplatz right now in the front of this little trio here, not that far ahead. The 77 of Joshua Yarborough, the 17 of Michael Accord, same as the 98 of Dalton Randolph. Randolph has fallen to 4.5 seconds behind the 24 of Chris Myers, and Chris Myers right now is the fastest car on track right now, faster than anyone in front of him and a certain amount faster than everyone else behind him, as Braxton DeWeese now starting to put the pressure on the 2, trying to move him to the back of the line, and at the same time putting pressure on the 44.
And certainly within that front group, having that car being a lap down there in between, I'm sure they were just trying to find a way to get around him so that they can continue battling for these positions up front, as our leader Maxwell Caldwell is still stretching that lead out to about 0.2 of a second.
This top 6 here running in very close company with each other as Steven Johnson goes to the outside, allowing the 8 to get to the inside of Braxton DeWeese. 24 not that far behind. He's about 1.3 seconds back off of this group. Certainly closing is that 24. These last couple of laps he has fallen off a little bit, but Myers has still shown plenty of pace. He was the third fastest car on track. The 47 last time around, the fastest car on track.
And I'm sure he is certainly happy to see the 8 and the 44 out in front of him battling for that position, as it's going to slow those cars down and help drag them back and help his cause as he's trying to make his way back to this group.
Speaking of the 24, you were there, and it's also very helpful that he's got the 2 in front of him to kind of use as a drafting bridge to get to the back of that group ahead of him.
It's not something that we talk about a whole lot here at Charlotte, but that draft can be very important, especially as these cars have been single file for this longer run.
Absolutely. And again, it's with that 2 being positioned where he is, about 3/4 of a second off of this front group. It's very nice to have that little bridge to where you're not having to make up that full 1.3 seconds. You can make half of that up with a little bit of help, and then you know what to do to get the second half back. As the 2 and 24 now are going to start to come together. Again, not for position after the 2 went off into the infield grass off the right front corner of the 24 not that long ago. And with that draft, the 24 has really pulled up 2 full tenths. That last time around, the 2 gives plenty of breathing room.
Being a lap down car, certainly showing some respect and trying to help this 24 get back up to that front group here, as see, I think the 18, if I saw that correctly, I believe just came down pit road, perhaps starting to see some first of our green flag pit stops here.
Might have just come out of pit road after damage repair. You can still see that right front torn up on the 18. Of Alex Call, currently running in the 21st position. Still, everyone who started the race on track. Adam Lowe, the only driver who has not started this race, and it's just remembering now, it's because he's in race control. So all 23 drivers who started this race still running. Negate the 24th.
Certainly makes much more sense now as we take a look at that. Seeing these drivers kind of getting into a groove of things here.
Absolutely. We have settled down into a groove, which means I think it's safe to take a quick break. We will be right back. You are watching the World 600 for the SCL International Racing League right here from Charlotte. Round 5 of the Cup season. We'll be back right after this. Caution is out on the speedway, and it appears to be the 48 of Tillman Hoyer. Andrew McKenzie, Larry McKenzie also may have caught a piece of that as well. As we are under caution for the 4th time tonight, there is the 00 of Larry McKenzie, looking rather clean. But we'll take a look anyway and see what happened. Oh, yep, that's the 48 and the 6. Ooh, and the 00 comes right in. Now, the 6 has been having connection issues tonight. See if that had anything to do with it here. No, it didn't. It just looked like the 48 was trying to come up and didn't realize the 6 was there. This is going to be from a little ways back, so we're going to see how this, going to be a full lap behind actually. Oh, who is that in the wall? Might have been I think that's the 19 of Sean Judson. It was. Who was in the wall prior. .48 is coming up on McKenzie down the back straightaway, probably because of that issue with the 19. The connection issue there slows up a little bit. 48 tries to take advantage on the inside, and oh no, it was the 6 that came down into the right rear corner of the 48. And unfortunately, the 00 just had nowhere to go.
As it often is with these 1.5-mile tracks being just a bit narrower than some of the other tracks we see on the schedule, oftentimes there just isn't anywhere to go once somebody starts sliding around or making contact.
Absolutely. As we see the field head on by right now through turns 3 and 4 under what would be just our 4th caution of the evening. Here tonight at Charlotte, Ryan Kelly has cycled around into the race lead after winning the race off of pit road in that number 13. Coming up here on Sim Racing Media, we have a full slate of races coming your way for tomorrow. As if we don't have a full slate of races tonight, we have 2 more races going on right now. The Elite Entertainment ARCA Series, round number 2 of the season from Iowa, running live right now, as well as the CleanRacing.net Truck Series, round number 4 at Iowa. But coming up tomorrow, we have 3 races for you. The All-American Racing League Truckers Feed America Cup Series will be in the playoffs, round number 3 of the playoffs for them at Bristol Motor Speedway. That will be an 8:20 p.m. Eastern Time start. The Ring Motegi Cup Series will come your way about 20 minutes later, round number 13 of their season at Daytona. And the Monster Energy NASCAR Racing League playoffs, round of 12, race 1, playoffs beginning for them at Kansas Speedway. That will be a 8:50 p.m. Eastern Time start. So 3 races all starting within a half hour of each other. And then on Thursday, we'll have 3 races. 3 more races coming your way Thursday. The Svenska E-Racing Ligan will run round number 4 of their oval season at Michigan International Speedway. That will be a 2 o'clock p.m. Eastern Time start. Then it'll be the Fired Up Esports League at Dover Motor Speedway. That will be a 7:15 p.m. Eastern Time start. And then Sim Racers Edge, round number 6 after a week off, will head to the Autodromo Jose Carlos Pache, or more simply known as Interlagos, for round number 6 of their season, just the second road course race of that IndyCar Series season. So if you're enjoying what you're seeing here tonight, be sure to subscribe, because we have a lot of racing action coming up every single night of the week. 2, 3, sometimes 4 races a night here on SRM. And David, it gets quite hectic around here at times.
It sure does, but we absolutely love it here at Sim Racing Media, bringing all the coverage right to you here on YouTube and Facebook.
Absolutely. Take it away, David.
All right, pace car pulls off as we get going again. The number 13 takes the green flag and gets off to a huge start, coming through the quad oval, bringing the 8 and 47 along with him.
Oh, and around goes, it's the 98, I believe, of Dalton Randolph. It is, and we're wrecking in turn 1. Big wreck in turn 1. The 10 involved. 95-77. $18.72 again.
And tempers for sure flaring here on the radios, as quite a few drivers involved and quite a few drivers very frustrated that they can't get that restart off and away.
I'm sure. Let's see what happened here. This is 72. Oh, the 72 tried to make it 3 wide on that restart and pushed the 10 up into the 98. See this from overhead. 72 of Greco. 77 drives right in, so is the 43. The 25 involved as well. The 2 just misses it. There was a lot that went on in a very short amount of time there. So right on board with Mike Peters in the 95. All happened right in front of him. That Raging Cane's machine, unfortunately. Raging in a different way, probably.
Absolutely, and chatter from the drivers here just sounding like an absolute accordion effect coming back the field on that restart. Drivers just having nowhere to go.
Yeah, we saw the 44 of Steven Jackson on that outside line. We'll ride on board with him here for this restart, but that was a very poor start from the 44. Let's ride on board with him. Oh, he was in 3rd gear for the start. That's why.
Drivers behind him not anticipating that slow pickup of the 44 machine, and we see the result there.
Watch here again on the restart. Watch the dash. He's in 3rd gear at 4,000 RPM. Now, typically you would want to restart these cars in 2nd. And Johnson just caught out in the wrong gear, which is what caused that outside. And I'm looking at the graphic now. It's not Raging Canes, it's Raising Canes. Boy, it's a good night.
Definitely just taking a look over these cars, and doesn't seem like there's a whole lot of cars in the field that can say that they don't have damage at this point.
Certainly. See Chris DeWeese active in chat. Gene Coleman has certainly been all over this chat, and we thank you very much for it. Pabata Chase E-Racing, rooting for the 24 of Myers. Nicole Hughes going for the 10 as well. Allen's Art Images, welcome in. Sherry Whitehurst, Sydney DeWeese as well. Thank you guys very much for making this a lot more fun. We love when the chat gets more involved in these races. Makes it a lot more fun for us. Gives us a couple more things to play off of. It makes for a lot of fun when we can see who's rooting for who.
Certainly gives us an opportunity to highlight those drivers that you want to see more of, and gives us, of course, as you mentioned, something more to talk about and someone else to take a look at and root for ourselves.
So the 8 of Braxton DeWeese right now, running through the chat favorites here. Braxton DeWeese running in second right now as we get set for this restart. 24 of Chris Myers will line up in ninth. The 10 of Chris Vanderplatz, unfortunately, still down pit road, repairing damage. I believe he had used a fast repair earlier on in this race and now has to sit and wait for repairs. Been in pit road for 3.5 minutes now, servicing that car. Same scenario for the 95 of Mike Peters. We know he used a fast repair earlier on, has been in pit road for the better part of 4.5 minutes now from that most recent incident.
Drivers stacked back up here, lights off on the pace car as it is about to make that dive here onto pit road. The number 13 of Ryan Kelly will lead them to green again, and he gets a great jump over that outside line. The 8 of Braxton DeWeese, though, not falling more than one row back there, and they get it going and away down into turn 1 and 2.
Mark Brown hanging on that outside line around the 47. A lot of wiggling, a lot of moving, a lot of shaking. Going down the back straightaway right now. Braxton DeWeese back up to the race lead. Oh, around goes the 73. Another hard hit. Mark Brown, Michael Accord. Caution out again. Michael Accord, we know, has taken a fast repair. The 73, I think, is clean as far as fast repairs go.
As that incident was occurring, it appears that Braxton DeWeese was able to take the lead and should be the control car on this restart coming up.
That was all on the 73, as you just saw from that overhead shot. The 73 ran into the back of Grijalva. And then the 94 of Maxwell Caldwell had nowhere to go as 73 checked up. Watch the contact right there. Checks up the 73, 94 nowhere to go, neither of the 17.
Drivers certainly becoming more aggressive here as the laps tick away on this pace lap. They are just starting lap 100 of 125. Drivers are going to start going for those positions as quickly as they can, especially off these restarts.
It's on board of Michael Accord in the 17 there, the most recent replay that we just showed. It's the 92 of Barrett Flo getting a lap back. And for the first time since about lap 50, that 92 will be back on the lead lap.
Certainly paying his dues here, just waiting and keeping that car as clean as he can, getting the free pass to get back on the lead lap. We'll see what he can do.
The new first not on the lead lap is the number 18 of Alex Call. At number 18, Atlanta Braves Toyota Supra. Andrew McKenzie in the 6, not on the lead lap either. He's about a lap behind Austin Call at the moment, and I believe he may have just disconnected. As Call comes down pit road. No, McKenzie's still here. Andrew McKenzie. So it will be Braxton DeWeese, Ryan Kelly, Joseph Grijalva, Maxwell Caldwell, Chris Myers, the top 5. Steven Johnson, Todd Merkel, who again was not on the lead lap a couple of moments ago, Dalton Randolph, Joshua Yarborough, and Justin Malarkey. The top 10. Doc Caldwell, Art Greco, Sean Judson, Mark Brown, and Barrett Flo. Your top 15, and rounding out the drivers who are currently on the lead lap. As we will most likely restart this race with 23 laps to go.
23 laps to go. These drivers last pitting on lap 89, but not getting many green flag laps here on these tires. I am taking a look at our track temp right now, and with the darkness falling and not getting these cars up to speed, the track temp has actually dropped down to 77 degrees here at the Speedway. Should give these cars a lot of grip here on this restart.
Both track and ambient temperatures have gone down by a degree since the start of this race. Rolled off the grid around right around 8 p.m. in sim time. We're now a quarter after 9 p.m. in sim time. My system here showing the total race time at 1 hour and 10 minutes right now. It's been a quick 125 laps, at least so far. Well, 101 laps thus far. As we get set to roll once again here at Charlotte. Braxton DeWeese on the inside, Ryan Kelly on the outside, and for DeWeese, this is going to be a very critical restart here because Ryan Kelly has been on these restarts all night so far.
Kelly has absolutely been on the ball, but that outside line has not worked out for anyone yet. We'll see how it plays out here as the pace car is off and away. And DeWeese is off and running, and Kelly looking like he didn't get the greatest of jump as we have seen him do previously on that outside line, with Grijalva fighting him there for that second position on the inside as they come to the back straightaway. Looks like he's going to be clear as he makes his way up to the top.
Very good start there for Grijalva as Kelly looks to the inside going into turn number 3. Can't quite make the move. The 44, though, on the outside line. He's looking for some room to work. Oh, I think we got a car around.
Both of them down in the infield. Not sure the caution will come out
it's coming.
here.
Oh, it's coming out now. There's the 94. Oh, the 6, another hard hit. And the classic NASCAR term, cautions breed cautions. We're seeing that here in full form tonight.
We certainly are, and with these drivers trying to get every position they can before they run out of time here tonight, you have to think that this isn't the last caution that we'll see, but it certainly is in these drivers' mind that this is the last caution that they want to see. They really want to run these laps out from what I'm hearing on the radio.
Absolutely. Maxwell Caldwell, we'll see what happened coming off of 4. A little bit of contact between the 94 and 44. And not a lot of control going through the grass. And it's like the 94 was going to get away with it right up until the 6 came by. And just nudging through the 44 on the inside. We saw what happened. Oh, no. A little bit of side contact on the left side there for the 44. Not nearly as hard as what we saw from the 94, but still a nice little hit. As there it is again. Might have been a little bit of net code there as well between the 44 and 94. Very
possible that there was some net code there. Seeing some of these drivers have some issues tonight with connectivity. I know personally from racing here at this legacy track that there are just some certain spots on this track that it seems like netcode becomes more of an issue, especially there at that front quad oval.
Absolutely. And again, next week this series will be at the truck series will be at the Legacy Michigan next week. This series, however, will be at the Current Michigan next week, this time next Monday. And then coming up this Wednesday will be the Super Truck Series, season 33 for these guys, by the way. The Super Truck Series running this Wednesday night at Charlotte, and then again at Michigan next week, but that will be the Legacy Michigan in 2 weeks' time. Street stock season coming to a close last Tuesday. Sure, a lot of good racing to be had there. Michigan, USA International, the Legacy Texas, Thompson, which put on one of the best super late model AI series races of the season that we had this past season, and Langley as well, another great racetrack. Joshua Dube coming away with the championship there. One win, won the championship by 4 points last week over Barrett Flo. So congratulations to him. Aliens Art Images, along with Jeff Schmidt Chevrolet, Allen's Art Images is proud to be a supporting sponsor of the 8 of Braxton DeWeese. Sure, we've seen that on this car plenty here tonight, as the 8 has been up towards the front for a good portion of the night.
He certainly has, and lights go off on the pace car as they're starting to stack back up, and Braxton DeWeese will once again be our control car when we take the green flag heading to lap 109.
Yes, he will. 47 of Joseph Grijalva will line up on the outside of row number 1. Ryan Kelly and Chris Myers in row 2. Todd Merkel and Dalton Randolph will make up row number 3 on this restart with what will be 17 laps to go here from Charlotte.
Seeing the laps tick down here at Concord's Charlotte Motor Speedway in North Carolina as that pace car gets ready to take that sharp left-hand turn as they come out of 4. And it will head down pit road. Braxton DeWeese as the control car, and he takes off early and gets a great jump over Grijalva there on the outside, bringing the 13 of Ryan Kelly up alongside of that 47 as they head down into turns 1 and 2. Can't quite get clear of the 47 to his outside. The 47 should have a good run heading down the back straightaway. We'll see what happens as they head into 3 and 4.
It's one of the better straight starts that we've seen out of the race leader. Pulled out a full 0.3 of a second prior to going into turn 1 as Grijalva holding on to that second position away from Ryan Kelly, who's had a better, longer run car. We'll take a look back towards the middle of the field, as that is Joshua Yarborough in the 77, the 25 of Justin Malarkey on the outside as well. That 25 has worked the outside line all night long, and that could play serious benefits now coming towards the end of this race.
Certainly knowing where your car plays well and where you can get that run going into these corners and out onto the straightaways is going to help get every position you can as we're running down lap 111 here out of 125 just started.
Riding on board with Art Greco, losing a position to the 44 of Steven Johnson, working his way back up towards the front. Johnson's car looking rather clean on that left side compared to, after what he just did. Currently running in the 11th position right now. Braxton DeWeese coming under a lot of pressure from Joseph Grijalva.
Grijalva looking for that opportunity as Kelly is also getting a mirror full of the 24 of Chris Myers behind him. These top spots still have plenty of fight left in them as they head into 3 and 4 and come back to the line.
On board with Ryan Kelly, 13 laps to go. Race lead in front, a close battle behind. This number 13. Again, Ryan Kelly came into this race leading the points championship by just 15 points. DeWeese pulling a little bit of a block there, trying to dissuade that 47 from going to the inside. Going into turn 3, works successfully as we go down 12 laps to go.
Very narrow margins here between first and second as there's only about a tenth of a second separating those two positions as third and fourth are also battling nose to tail. Certainly haven't seen the last of the draft here as these cars are mostly single file, but make no mistake about it, as soon as a lane opens up, you will see one of these drivers try to jump to the inside or outside to get that position away.
A lot of connection issues coming up for Braxton DeWeese right now. This will be a very good points day for that 13, by the way, with Maxwell Caldwell having the issues that he has had. Caldwell was the driver that was 15 points behind coming into the night.
The 13 of Kelly looking to the inside of Grijalva there as they enter 3 and 4, but maybe just couldn't drive it in deep enough as he seems to back off a bit there and now is under fire from the 24 of Chris Myers.
DeWeese and Grijalva coming into tonight tied for third in points at 491. Looking a little bit further back, Steven Johnson trying to make his way through the middle of 3 wide between the 77 and the 73, and through the middle makes it work on both drivers. Very big move.
Making the moves they can here as the 13 is on the inside of the 47.
Oh!
They make contact.
Hard into the wall. Championship leader in third place coming in. Caution is out with 9 laps to go. And the first sign of incident for either the 47 and the 13 tonight comes at the tail end of the race.
Certainly some implications when talking about championship points there. Those drivers racing as hard as they could for those positions. Have to see how that will affect them here with only a few laps remaining.
Still plenty of time left in this season, but still you never want to have a good points day completely taken away, and it looked as though that was the 47 of Grijalva getting loose coming out of turn 4, and just unfortunately those two were so close to each other. There was no way for him to be able to recover. He was on board of Grijalva. Tried to power out. I don't think he realized his front suspension was broken there when he tried to power up, which is why he turned back into the 13. On board with Ryan Kelly. Just contact and around he goes.
We talked about that damage model earlier being updated for repetitive damage, but they also did quite a few updates in order to show the broken parts on this car, which is why you're now seeing some of these broken steerings and axles becoming so much more prevalent in these races.
So Braxton DeWeese will lead Chris Myers here on this final restart. or what we hope is the final restart.
We certainly hope so, and if I have my calculations correct, I believe we will be going green at about lap 120, at the start of lap 120 here. We'll have to keep an eye on that pace car just to make sure.
Which means we would have about 6 laps to go, 5 or 6 laps to go. See who will take home the checkered flag. Will it be Braxton DeWeese for the second time to become the first multi-race winner in season 33, or will it be Chris Myers becoming the 5th unique winner in 5 races this year? And this is the halfway point of the Cup season. Michigan, Talladega, Chicago, Gateway, and Homestead Miami Speedway. Or at least that's what's scheduled. That's what's left on the schedule for on iRacing, at least. I'm pretty sure that I'm almost positive that there's more races left this season.
I am showing for the rest of their schedule, as you mentioned, heading to Michigan next week, Talladega Super Speedway the week after, Chicagoland Speedway on Halloween, Worldwide Technology Raceway on November 7th, and then their finale at Homestead Miami Speedway.
I think their website, and I'm gonna trust that my my Firefox is going to show up on the right screen here. Yes, it will, kind of halfway, but it did. Let me take a look here just to make sure. Aha, see, I was right. There are a couple more races after that. It's Homestead, Wilkesboro, Martinsville, New Hampshire, and Atlanta.
Okay.
Are the final races. So we're not quite at the halfway point yet. The halfway point will be Talladega in 2 weeks.
Certainly should make for an exciting end of the season there. And, of course, anything can happen when it comes to Talladega. So what a great halfway point to have on that schedule.
Which that also means I was wrong with the Street Stock Series. They will be at Charlotte tomorrow night. They will be right back here at Charlotte tomorrow night. Just going off of what was on iRacing. So here we go. 5 laps to go. Once we go back to green flag racing, Braxton DeWeese, Chris Myers, the first row. Row 2 goes to Todd Merkel and Dalton Randolph. Row 3, Justin Malarkey and Steven Johnson. Green flag coming back out in the air. Good restart by the 8. The 24 had a decent reaction to it. Not as bad as others. He'll jump right down to the bottom. Now come up back up to the top to try to block off Dalton Randolph.
Drivers are certainly taking advantage of this here as the 2 is on the inside of that 98 machine. As they head down this back straightaway, the 98 will pull out ahead and drop to the bottom as they head into turns 3 and 4 with the 44 on the outside making a run, getting by the 2, moving into that 4th position.
A lot of close racing coming here through this quad oval, and we've seen that not work out here tonight. Side by side, 3 abreast, 3 wide. Coming through these corners, the 92 and 73 almost making contact side by side with each other. Those were the words.
The top 5 positions looking like they have sorted themselves out a bit here. Braxton DeWeese in the lead, followed by Chris Myers on his bumper with a very, very close gap there. Dropping back to the 98 and the 44, who are just about to battle it out as they dive down here into turn 1.
Throughput is not out of the question for that 8. He's had a couple of big incidents with his connection tonight. 98 and 44, Dalton Randolph spins Steven Johnson down the inside. Caution is out. And it will be a green-white checkered finish.
And taking a look
or will it
here
be?
At my screen, they only have 1 green-white checker attempt. So
there you go.
If they don't get it done here, it will finish under yellow for the next caution.
And again, lucky for the 44 that he hit with the back of the car more prominently than the front. 98 just tried to get back up in line behind the 44 and just didn't realize he was still there. Thought he had him clear. So there you go. We got a lot more to do still.
Certainly things heating up. A green-white checkered attempt on the way. Braxton DeWeese so far able to hang on to that lead. Will be the control car on the restart.
As David had mentioned, this will be the one and only shot at this. Car getting his lap back. That will be the 95 of Mike Peters, who will now be about 12 laps down now. After having to repair damage from multiple incidents, having used his fast repair, he's found himself towards the back of this field. The 95, who was very solid at the beginning of this race, unfortunately not finding the luck that he has needed tonight.
And what a race it has been. An hour and a half for these drivers here. Now coming to the conclusion of lap 25, 126, going to our only green-white checkered attempt. Should be a great finish to what has been a very exciting night of racing here at Charlotte.
Absolutely has been. It has been quite fun here tonight, as the SCL International Winston Cup Series makes its way through round number 5 of the season. So again, coming up next week for this series will be Michigan, Talladega, Chicago, Gateway, Homestead, Wilkesboro, Martinsville, New Hampshire, Atlanta the rest of the way. Tomorrow night will be the street stocks here at Charlotte, which should be a very fun night, because if there is one car and track combination that everyone on this service should be very, very used to, it would be the street stocks here at Charlotte, because this is where, if you want to start running oval racing around here or on iRacing, it's either street stocks at Charlotte or street stocks at USA International, which is where you cut your teeth.
And something very familiar for all these drivers, I'm sure, as you mentioned, promoting out of that rookie license, getting their teeth cut here at Charlotte. What a great car to run. Makes for great racing all night long.
Absolutely. It'll be like a super speedway race. These guys will be down on the bottom all night long. Whoever falls off that inside line is going to be falling all the way to the back. And say about, if I remember correctly, this is a long time ago since I've run one of these, the rookie street stocks here at Charlotte, about 10 to 15 laps, depending upon whether it was day or night. And tomorrow will be a afternoon race, so the back end of that street stock becomes very, very free about 10 laps into the run, and you'll be catching the car for a long, long time tomorrow.
Will certainly keep things interesting as these drivers are getting ready to head back to green for the last time here. Braxton DeWeese, the control car, as we see that pace car take the dive onto pit road. The 24 of Chris Myers on the outside as Braxton DeWeese gets a great jump there. Myers now under fire of Malarkey, I believe, there on the inside. Malarkey diving to the inside through turns 1 and 2. I'm not sure he'll be able to get it done as Myers is able to come on the outside.
There's a lot of contact there. 3 wide here coming through turns 3 and 4. Braxton DeWeese is about a second clear of all of it. Chris Myers, who did catch the wall down the back straightaway, spinning around in the back. That's the 92. White flag is in the air. No sign of the caution just yet. So we will stay green and we will run it. No, we will not. I believe the caution has come out. So that will mean Braxton DeWeese will take the race win here in the World 600.
What a great race. I thought for a moment there that they were going to be able to run that finish out under green, but caution did come out for that incident, as we saw coming out of turn 4 and into the quad oval there.
That was the 92 of Barrett Flo, who went around, and we will show you that incident in just a moment. But coming out of turn 3 and 4 now. Quite a night here tonight at Charlotte, but it ends with the 8 of Braxton DeWeese in victory lane as he wins his second race of the season here at the World 600 at Charlotte.
Drivers showing their excitement here on that final restart. And Braxton DeWeese getting that final win and that jump over Chris Myers there to get a dominating lead as he came to that white flag before the yellow came out.
Here's what happened with Barrett Flo. He's already gone by now. Let's take a look and see here. This is going to be coming through 3 and 4. You see just how jumbled up everybody is. Oh, he tried to sneak up in front of the 2, and he wasn't clear. 21 catches a big piece. And the caution was triggered for that.
These drivers certainly taking their chances, knowing it was their last attempt to get those final positions. Sadly, it was just a bit more aggressiveness than they could handle there coming out of turn 4.
Absolutely. As we are looking to see if we're going to get any of our winners into here for interviews. No, we have the 94 of Maxwell Caldwell. And I think that might be where we start tonight. Chris Myers is in there as well. We'll start from the bottom up. As David, I believe you are with Maxwell Caldwell right now, our third place finisher.
Maxwell coming in third tonight here at Charlotte. Ran great all night long. Tell me, what are your thoughts? How do you feel getting that third place finish?
I don't want this to sound bad. I feel like it should be 2 places more. I had a strong car through practice, had a strong car in qualifying on the front row, was able to lead some of this race, able to run it, and I just really screwed my race on pit road. I was getting out of my box and trying to beat the 13 and just spun myself, and of course got the black flag penalty, dropped to the end and all that good stuff, and then got to starting some of these messes. Got up to 4th. And then kind of got side by side with the 44, and I don't know if I came into him, he come down, what it was, but it felt like he came down and just got doored into the grass and wrecked there. So the fact that we came back for third, I think, is a miracle in itself. But had a fast car, just wish we could have got Merkle Racing Engines about 2 more spots, so we could have got them on the top spot there tonight.
Certainly, as you mentioned, had a fast car, saw your fair share of issues throughout the night by the sounds of it. Tell us, getting back up to that third place spot, you said you wanted to get those final 2 spots. What was going through your mind there on that final restart? What did you have to do?
Well, starting on the bottom, you can't see the leader when he takes off, and the leader was fast. I mean, the 8's fast, but he had some blinking issues all night long where it was dang near impossible to pass the guy. Anytime he got close, his car was kind of launching to the moon. So a lot of drivers had trouble with that tonight. I wasn't the only one to speak it, but I mean, the 8's still fast. I mean, we get it. He was fast. I think we had him, though, on long run pace. He just had great short run pace because he would like to jump to that second lane. And to me, that second lane really would chew the tires up. So congrats to the 8. But on that final restart, really my goal was just top 3. That's all I can do is run that bottom and hope those guys up top kind of race a little too hard. So got the 3rd place finish for points. I'd have had no clue how the points are going to shake out since Ryan, my teammate there, he kind of was battling for the lead and had a problem. And I know the 8 was not far behind us, so that may have shot him to the points lead. I don't really know because he probably led the most laps tonight too. So because he had that first run there where he pitted and no one else did and ran through the whole field to get up front. So he got plenty of laps led there. But no, a solid 3rd place finish is probably the best we could have done given the circumstances we put ourselves in. But hopefully next week the driver don't make a mistake on pit road and we get to keep the lead to the end.
All right, it was certainly fun to watch. Before we let you go, do you have any thank yous or shout outs you'd like to give?
Yes, first and foremost, my Lord and Savior Jesus Christ. I mean, without him, I wouldn't be here and getting to participate in this event. Thankful for SCL. It's a really welcoming league. We used to run a different league, some of us guys in here, and it got shut down on us. So SCL welcomed us with open arms, and it's been really fun to run. A lot of competitive guys in here. Thankful for you guys for doing the broadcast here tonight. I had it pulled up to the side while I was racing, getting to hear y'all call the action. Did a fantastic job. Can't wait to see some more races y'all get to do in the future, hopefully. And just thankful for my teammates, man. Ryan Kelly and Todd Merkel, and got to shout out my sponsor there with Todd Merkel Racing Engines. So glad to get them in the broadcast here tonight. And you know, if you need any work from them, see Todd Merkel, man. He's great with those engines. He knows how to really tune them.
All right. Thank you so much for that, Maxwell. Good luck next week as you head on to Michigan.
Thank you, sir. Y'all have a great one.
So that was your race, your 3rd place finisher tonight, Maxwell Caldwell. We will now go up to our 2nd place finisher tonight, Chris Myers. Chris, it was a little bit of a rough start for you here tonight, but got it sorted out, able to finish 2nd, a very solid run for you.
Yeah, definitely ran into some issues there in the beginning of the race. Kind of ran good for a little while and then kind of messed up on my own and, you know, ran into a guy and just kind of got loose coming off 4 and, you know, but we prevailed, got back up to the front, held true, and definitely avoided some other wrecks that happened afterwards, but, you know, kept it straight and brought it home P2.
Do you think that maybe with a little bit better of a restart you would have had something for the 8, or did you just think he was a little bit too good tonight?
Yeah, I definitely think I could have had something for him if I had a better restart. Those couple restarts we had there at the end of that, I was trying to time them, but he was good at it. He let me get kind of ahead of him there, and then he'd mash on the gas, and he got out front, but kept those guys behind me and, you know, stayed true and stayed straight and kept it clean and P2.
I know the restart zone is kind of a newer thing here to iRacing, but how much easier does that restart zone make it, kind of knowing when the leader is going to go?
Well, I mean, you still really don't know. The restart zones, if you know where they're at on the track and can visually see them, you know, they still have ample amount of time to pick and choose when they want to go within the restart zone. You can kind of time it, but, you know, it's part of the game. You know, you got to play the game.
Absolutely. We head to Michigan next week. What are your thoughts going to the current Michigan?
I actually like Michigan a lot. It's a very big momentum track, which is my strong suit, you know, saving tires, just keeping a good pace and avoiding all the wrecks and staying clean and being there at the front to, you know, try to race for a win.
All right. Anyone else you want to thank before we let you go?
Oh yeah, I'd like to thank Bill Mulfield, the owner of WJM Motorsports. That's a team we've got going on, sponsored by Garza Law Firm. We're looking for other sponsors heading into the season for 2023. I'd also like to thank Realtor Ray. He's a sponsor for my race car for next year at Langley Speedway in the Street Stock division, as well as Newman and Son, Land and Lawn, and Sashimi Sport Fishing. Other than that, I'd like to thank the SCL League for putting these races on, and you guys for putting on a good broadcast.
All right, your second place finisher tonight, Chris Myers. Bud, congratulations.
Thanks, guys.
And with that, David, you have our race winner, Braxton DeWeese, right with us.
What about the blanket?
All right, Braxton, welcome to the booth with David and Frank. You got that win tonight, that final restart. I want to hear what was going through your head, knowing that it was the only green-white checker attempt that you had.
Well, I mostly just wanted to try to clean up the blinking that was going on with my car and stuff. I know it's very, very annoying to the other drivers. I mean, it's annoying to myself as well, but definitely to the other drivers. I definitely wanted to try to shut down anything that I was running at the time to get my internet cleaned up for the time being. I don't know if I blinked any at the end there. It didn't seem like it, but I could have. Yeah, other than that, I really just wanted to make sure I hit my marks. I mean, I knew if I got a good jump and a good start, if I got them side by side, that they were going to race each other pretty hard to try to come after me. But they got stuck side by side, and I just drove away there at the end. That's the best thing you can see in first place in that position. Just coming to the white, the caution came out, so I couldn't race all the way around. But I felt like we were gonna be pretty good there and getting a win anyways. But just got to clean up that blinking for sure.
Certainly had a fast car all night long. We saw there at the beginning you took an early pit stop to get some fresh tires on and make your way to the front. Did that make a difference later on in the race, knowing that your car was that much faster on fresher tires?
At the time, I thought it was, kind of good because I figured we were going to go green because the last race we had, we went green and whatnot. And we've gone pretty much green in these leagues, only with a couple cautions. So I was banking on that. And there for a while, it was looking pretty good. I was getting a huge gap there. I was hoping I could run it all the way out. So I could just have an even bigger gap after the green flag pit stops. But that caution there kind of got me worried. I only had I had a set less, obviously, so I was kind of getting worried. I figured I had to pit there. How many laps I took on my tires? Because if I didn't pit and they all pitted, then I would have just dropped back way too much. So I took the gamble to take the set with like 60 some laps to go, and I only had one set left. So that pretty much meant that I was going to take mine during green flag stops if we had any. But we kept having more cautions, which was surprising to me, but it ended up working out in our favor, thankfully. So glad we can go back to back.
Strategy certainly worked for you. The first two-time winner here in this series. It must feel great. Looking forward to next week. You're heading to the current Michigan layout. What are your thoughts for next week? And do you have any strategy that you're looking forward playing into next week?
Well, the first strategy starts right after this. Gonna try to find something we can upgrade this computer or get something figured out so we can be clean and not have to worry about blinking and actually can have some good racing around me. I know drivers are having problems trying to get around me, so I definitely want to clean that up because I definitely want to keep racing. I enjoy this league and it's some good racing. After this race, we're pretty good. We should be pretty good up in the points now. So I want to keep that going, but we got some homework to do over this past week, or this upcoming week, I should say. So we're going to do that, but going on to Michigan, hopefully our stuff's upgraded. So we're just going to hope to do what we did the past 2 weeks, just run our race and do what we do best.
All right. And before we let you go, Braxton, do you have any thank yous and shout outs that you'd like to give?
Yeah, for sure. I definitely want to give a big shout out to everybody that's in the chat rooting me on. I know a lot of people come in and root me on and support and whatnot, so I do appreciate that. I want to give a big thanks to Jeff Schmidt Auto Group, Scott Martin over there. He's a salesman. He'll get you hooked up with the right car there. I definitely want to give a big shout out to Alan Star Images as well, Reaper Speed Lab, Scrubbing Tires Podcast, GP Diecast, Blaze Designs, Short Track Report, NASCAR Techno Institute, and everybody that makes this 8 car going. Appreciate all the supporters again, and got the 4 in a row. We'll see if we can go for 5 in a row the next race we do. We've been on a streak here with just all the races that I've been doing. Every race I've been in, the last 4 I've won. So hopefully we can keep it going, and hopefully we can keep that going until next week as well. So y'all have a good one.
Congrats on the win tonight. Great to see you out there, and fast car. Congrats again, Braxton.
I appreciate it. Y'all have a good week.
So that was the race winner, and for us tonight, David, that pretty much wraps it up for us here. A very solid night here at the racetrack, and a lot of fun here for our first go around here with SCL.
It was certainly a great night, some great racing. Was excited to cover it all here with you, Frank.
Absolutely. So with that, we will go to the results here for tonight's race. Your race winner, Braxton DeWeese, Chris Myers, and Maxwell Caldwell. We heard from those three just a moment ago. Mark Brown and Joseph Grijalva making up the top 5. Justin Malarkey, Sean Judson, Ryan Kelly, Todd Merkel, and Austin Call making up the top 10. Art Greco, Joshua Yarborough, Doc Caldwell, Dalton Randolph, and Steven Johnson making up the top 15. Barrett Flo, Mike Peters, Joshua Tarrant Hill, Larry McKenzie, and Andrew McKenzie coming home in the top 20. That would be Chris Vanderplatz coming home in 21st. Michael Accord, Tillman Hoyer rounding out the field here tonight. I believe the final 3, Vanderplat, Accord, and Hoyer, were DNFs here tonight. So for my broadcast partner, David Modespaw, I am Frank Marchese. Thank you very much for making us a part of your evening, and we will see you guys soon, hopefully, right here on Sim Racing Media. Good night, everybody.